The Middle East stands at a crossroads where decades of tension and proxy wars are unraveling under the weight of Israel's relentless campaign, Rising Lion. This operation is not just a military offensive, it's a seismic shift in the region's geopolitics, exposing the fragility of Iran's Shia Islamic regime. When we examine Middle East Asia and study its geopolitics, we can understand many things. Regarding the Israel-Iran war and Iran's current regime, will it collapse? By regime, I'm not referring to Masoud Pezeshkian specifically, but rather the Shia Islamic system that has ruled since Khomeini's Islamic Revolution, later entrenched under Khamenei. Over the past 2 years, seismic changes have unfolded, sparked by Hamas's fateful attack on October 7th. To grasp the stakes, we must analyze the sequence of events carefully. Israel has declared war on multiple fronts, against Hamas on one side and Iran-backed Hezbollah on another. Over the next 12 minutes, I'll unpack how this conflict is rewriting the future of the Middle East. Let's begin with Lebanon, where a puppet government existed in name only, while Hezbollah, a dual political and militant force with 68,000 active members and nearly 100,000 reserves, roughly 200,000 strong, held the real power. For 30 years, Hezbollah dominated Lebanon, backed by Iran's financial and military might, with ties to Russia as well. Israel's devastating strikes obliterated Hezbollah's infrastructure, freeing Lebanon from its grip. Proper elections followed, bringing a legitimate government to power and forging new diplomatic ties with France and others, breaking free from Iranian influence. This transformation is staggering. Lebanon, once a proxy battleground, now charts its own course, a direct result of Israel's decisive action. Syria tells a parallel story. The Assad regime, another Iran-backed Shia stronghold, brutalized its people, killing and beheading countless civilians, forcing millions to flee. Hezbollah, led by Nasrallah, operated there with a mission to suppress Sunnis, bolstering Iran's regional control. Russia maintained military bases, amplifying the chaos. Israel's strikes targeted Hezbollah positions and paved the way for a new power to emerge. A former ISIS member, al-Sahra, labeled moderate, took control, initially backed by Turkey, until Saudi Arabia and the UAE outmaneuvered them, aligning him with their interests. The American president met with him, signaling a shift. Syria, like Lebanon, went from spouting Iran's anti-Israel rhetoric to seeking good relations with Israel, a complete reversal within a year. This pattern reveals a deeper truth about the region's geopolitics. Islamic regimes, when pushed to sustain themselves, often lean on religious extremism, only to collapse under its weight. Iran's support for Shia militias like Hezbollah fueled these proxy wars, but Israel's intervention has upended the status quo. Two countries once controlled by Iran, Lebanon and Syria have changed course, their leaders replaced, their anti-Israel venom silenced. Now the question looms, what's next for Iran itself? History is being written before us, and it's clear Iran's direct support for attacks against Israel, triggered by Hamas's catastrophic miscalculation on October 7th, has set the stage for its own destruction. Why is Iran doomed? Over 3,000 Mossad operatives, disguised and undetected, surround Tehran, armed with smuggled weapons, operating like India's Mukti Bahini during Bangladesh's liberation. These operatives have infiltrated the city, striking key installations with bombs and drones, while Israel's air superiority rains devastation from above. The Iranian regime is terrified, knowing regime change is imminent. This is why Trump warned civilians to leave Tehran to avoid the crossfire when Israel seizes control. Khamenei moves hourly, haunted by messages like, "We will kill you at this exact time," delivered before commanders are eliminated with chilling precision. Military communications are down, equipment is bombed, and the army is paralyzed by confusion and panic. This is total warfare, airstrikes, ground operatives, and psychological tactics that leave Iran defenseless. The speed of Israel's campaign is staggering. In just 2-3 hours, they eliminated generals and nuclear scientists Iran once celebrated as untouchable. Replacements are being killed just as swiftly. Underground facilities, military installations, all are being obliterated. Israel's dominance is absolute, leaving Iran's regime in a state of dread. Journalists cower, their propaganda networks silenced by warnings of impending strikes. What happened in Syria and Lebanon is now unfolding in Iran. The regime's collapse is not a question of if, but when. This is why I say when the war with Iran ends, the Middle East will find peace. The ripple effects are already visible. Qatar, once vocal, now stays silent after Trump's stern warnings. The Houthis have halted their attacks, cowed by America's promise of decisive retaliation. The Arab world watches in fear as Israel demonstrates its unmatched power. Some may romanticize Iran's resistance, but they should study Mossad's operations, how a small nation's intelligence and military forces execute with unparalleled precision. Israel is settling accounts for October 7th, ensuring the Jewish community never faces such threats again. Operation Rising Lion sends a clear message to the region. See how we're crushing Iran? This could be you. Israel, backed by America's superpower might, is deciding the economic and military security of the Middle East. This transformation is sweeping the region. Lebanon changed, Syria changed, and Iran is next, with Yemen likely to follow. Israel is poised for supreme dominance, its prime minister soon to be regarded with the same respect and fear as the American president. Hamas's foolishness has cost multiple nations dearly, and the price is still being paid. The Shia leadership and their followers are being decimated, reduced to what I called in a previous video, headless chickens. Every cruelty has an ending, and Iran's regime is now facing payback for its brutality minute by minute, hour by hour. To understand the broader context, consider Iran's long reliance on proxies to extend its influence. Hezbollah in Lebanon, Assad in Syria, these were Iran's tools to project power, but Israel's campaign has exposed their vulnerabilities. The elimination of Hezbollah's leadership, the fall of Assad, and now the systematic dismantling of Iran's military and scientific elite signal a region in flux. Israel's technological edge, drones, cyber warfare, and AI-driven targeting has outpaced Iran's outdated systems. The regime's desperation is palpable, with Khamenei fleeing from one hideout to another, each move tracked by Israel's operatives. Iran's attempts to rally support through propaganda have crumbled as even their media outlets face targeted strikes. The Middle East is on the verge of a new era. As Iran's regime falters, the region's power dynamics are shifting. Israel's message is unequivocal: no threat will go unanswered. The days of Iran's proxies terrorizing the region are numbered, and the Iranian people, long oppressed, may soon glimpse a future free from this regime's grip. The global community is witnessing a historic turning point, driven by a small nation's resolve and a superpower's backing. This is not just a war, it's the dawn of a new Middle East, where peace may finally take root once Iran's regime falls. Stay tuned, for the coming days will reveal the full extent of this transformation.